So today we're going to show you how to set up communities, the client portal, and courses inside of HighLevel to make it super easy for you and your clients to have a great experience. So stay tuned and build along with us. Now, with the rise of Skool and everything that's going on and how there's a big focus on communities, HighLevel's invested quite a significant amount of money into ensuring that communities becomes a really good part of the actual software. Now, what's really cool about it is that it's already been here for a little while, but they keep adding and updating to it. And I know over time, because the amount of money invested into this particular part of the software keeps growing, and therefore I believe that this is going to be a pretty good product once it's set and complete. Now, mind you, there's still some things missing. There's still some things that are on its way, but overall, it is not bad where you have it, and it is in a working model. And a lot of communities are actually being used by HighLevel itself for their certified admins and even their contests. So I can tell you that the communities are being pretty active inside of HighLevel itself. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. First and foremost, you're going to want to navigate over to the left-hand side and you want to go into memberships. Now, I do want to explain there is a little bit of confusing part in this. Now, when you want to create a client portal or you want to create a course, they used to go to two separate places. Communities would be one domain or one part of the domain, and then courses would be another. If you're in a newer version of HighLevel or this is your first time building in that area, you will build strictly inside of your community portal, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. But I want to make sure that people understand. The old way was you just had a course area, and that course area was a separate subdomain that you would use. So for instance, if your domain right now is nuno.com, you would have courses.nuno.com, and that would be your main Skool area where you would have all of your courses. Now remember, you can have unlimited courses, unlimited products, and everything else inside of HighLevel, but you still have one Skool area. And prior to that, it used to only be for the courses itself. Well, that developed over time, and now we have a course area and we have a community area, and pretty soon we're no longer going to have a course area and we're just going to have a community domain. All right, so hopefully I'll get into it a little bit longer and this will be a little bit less confusing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over to memberships. Inside of memberships, you're going to notice that you have courses, you're going to have communities, and you're going to have certificates. So you're going to click on communities, you're going to go into settings, and you're going to notice that there is a subdomain. Now, I want to personalize my subdomain. I'm going to call it portal. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this so we can do it together. You're going to hit custom domain. And in this custom domain, I'm going to create portal.automatedmarketer.co because that is going to be the portal that I want all my clients to go to, whether it's for communities, courses, affiliates, whatever it is. So I'm going to come over here and I'm first going to create a custom domain. Again, real easy to do. Come into communities, under memberships, then go into settings, come over here, hit the custom domain button, come all the way over here, and you notice that it's got a C name record and an A record. I'm going to take the C name record, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over to Cloudflare where I have my domain records. Yours could be GoDaddy, Namecheap, it really doesn't matter. All you got to do is add the same record to whatever you have. Now, the reason we're using a subdomain is we don't want to disturb the main domain. So for instance, if nuno.com is somewhere and it's like a website or it's a funnel, I don't want to disturb it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what's called a subdomain, which is a little tiny part of the domain that allows me to use it for another area, like in this instance, for my client portal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a record. I'm just going to make sure I don't have portal anywhere in here. I don't, because you can't use the same subdomain twice. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type in portal. They have an address here that I need to copy. Remember, in here, it's CNAME. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it. I'm going to take the orange proxy off for now because I just want to be able to make sure that HighLevel can find a domain and that the records are here. If I have the proxy, sometimes there happens to be a little bit of issues here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now that I've hit save, see, it already exists, name portal, which I have it here. So because I already have it here, there's no need to create it again. But for the sake of the example, you know what? Why don't we do AM portal? Okay, we're going to make it different. And just so that you can see the entire record here. All right, I'm just going to do AM portal, previewclient.net. Again, all I'm doing, folks, is this right here to make it super easy for you guys to understand. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now that I hit save, I have that particular subdomain ready to be used. And I'm going to hit update domain. Oh, see, it says enter valid name. Oh, because I didn't. You got to make sure you put in the entire domain, automatedmarketer.co, with the first subdomain part. So I got to write the whole thing out. All right, I'm going to hit update domain. Domain settings have updated, and now you know that you're live. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down over here. I'm going to go to actual sites. I'm going to go to client portal. This is the new step. This wasn't here a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to go to settings. And here is where I want to start setting up my look and feel. So for instance, in branding, I'm going to put my community name. That's the portal name, AM community, right? HighLevel experts. Very easy. Give it these two colors. Okay. add a favicon, which again, it gives you the ratios right here, 16 by 16, the portal image name, the banner image if I wanted to do an image, and then I have a logo. So I added all these. I'm going to put a team at, okay, that's the actual email address. Again, and I'm going to fill this all out, make it super nice, hit savings. Great. Now the brand's saved. I'm going to go back to settings. Now here is where it's super important. This is brand new. This is the app permissions. Now, if you are just going to be building communities and you don't want any access to the courses or to your course area, then you will shut these two off, the affiliates and that, and you would just have it straight going into communities. If you want the ability of a user to pick both the communities and the courses and the affiliates and have a selection between all three or have access to all three, you would turn these on. And depending on what home you want to do, there are now choices of what the homepage is going to be, meaning the second I log into the client portal, I'm going to have the ability going directly into either to courses, to the communities area, or to the affiliates. So what I want to do is if I select home, what's going to do, it's kind of a unique experience now where you go in and you're going to be able to select where you want to go. So it's going to be over to the right-hand side. We're actually going to select this one for the purposes of doing it. It's going to give you the option of, do you want to go home? Do you want to go to communities? Do you want to go to courses? Or do you want to go to affiliates? And that's kind of like a new kind of interface and feel that it has to it. And they're going to keep developing this side. Now, for anybody that's just like, no, I don't want anything else showing but courses, come in here, turn these off, come in here, and then basically only leave courses on so they go directly to courses. For the people like, no, I don't have any courses, I just want to have a community, then do the reverse. Turn on communities, boom, come in here and hit save settings. Now, as of now, we've tried this a couple times. Once you set it, it kind of like keeps a memory and it doesn't reset for a long while. Meaning if you only want to show courses and later on you want to show courses and communities, it takes a long time for it to reset itself, even if you come here and update it. So just be aware, they are working on it. So by the time this video comes out, they'll probably already have a fix because we've already brought it to their attention. But in the meantime, try to be very careful with what you want selected. For instance, for us, we want everything selected because we want to just like, again, people can come in, they can choose to go to the communities, the courses, or that. And I also want to show you what this landing page looks like so you have a full idea of what it is. But a lot of people were very confused because a lot of people were very annoyed because some people were just creating courses and they're like, no, I just want people to go into the course. So no problem. You can also do that. Now, here is the crazy part. If you are in an older version of HighLevel and you already have courses created, what's wild is that when you go into settings and you go into memberships, there is still an old way of going to the old courses by going into settings in here. And you would notice that you have custom domains and you have just a course area set up here. Now, this is good if you are older, but guess what? If you are in a newer version of HighLevel and you never had courses in this area no longer exists. So no matter what, you're going to have to do it the other way, which is going into settings, setting up a custom domain like we mentioned in here. And then from that point on, following the same exact steps, which you set up the custom domain in here, then you go into sites, go to your community portal, go into settings, and then setting it all up here as far as your branding and then your domain setup, which is domain setup, lo and behold, it's the same exact thing that we mentioned prior. All right. So again, we've done it here. If you have it the old way, then your course area is going to be one area, and then this is going to be another area. If you have it the new way, you don't even have that course option available anymore. Everything's done through the client portal. You would just come in here if you just want to have courses, shut these two off, and then make sure you have only courses on. Again, a little confusing, but just bear with it while they're kind of growing into this area. But again, now you'll be able to control this. We actually didn't have this option not even a few weeks ago. So there you go. I have the homepage set. I've modified what my branding is all going to look like inside my portal area. You can download different images, play with different images. Andy actually did a file how to make this really looking nice. So you can check that file also. And now we want to build our first community. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over back to memberships. Now we're going to go to communities and we're going to go to groups and we're going to create a group. All right. The group name is going to be Automated Marketer VIP. Okay. That's our URL description. You can go bananas, but I'm just going to put in here. Favicon. Again, I have some files here. This is our favicon. We're going to put it there. Cover image. For now, we're just going to have some gears, logo, and we're going to have a little white logo that goes along with it. Now, again, you can go ahead and mess around with this. I'm not really focusing on the design aspect of it. As always, we just want to make sure you're up and running and getting this thing rocking and rolling for you. But you can always go back. They give you the image sizes right here, and you can play with it and make it look as nice as you want to, right? I'm going to go ahead and create the group, and this is what we're going to do. Now, once we create the group, we're going to add a few things to it, right? So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go ahead and sign in, all right? I'm going to create a password. I think I should be be in. If not, we're going to go ahead and do it. Actually, you know what? We don't even need to do that right now because this is already in here. I'm the owner. If I log in, like this is the kind of confusing part. Notice how everything kind of came out on the left-hand side. But here's the thing. If I come in here, I have to actually log in and it has to recognize me as the owner. So for the instance of just kind of moving quickly through this, I'm going to go ahead and hit sign up. I'm going to throw away domain. All right, it's going to give me a secure code of that email. Awesome. And I'm inside the community. And also notice that because I have this version of it, I'm coming in here. I could set up my profile. I can put in a profile picture, a bio, location, the account, the social media, and I can also make things publicly visible, like my email and name, all my Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of that in here. And notice in here, if I go to home, this is what the home is going to be like going forward. I can come in here and basically here's all my different information. I can immediately take a course and it goes to my course area, which right now will be empty. There's Nuno's awesome course, which I've included in the community, says free, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And then if I come over here, I also have access to the older course area, which has the other courses. And again, if I wanted to go over here, I can also go to affiliates. And if I have any kind of affiliates or campaigns, here it is. And I have this all set, ready to rock and roll. So here's all the different affiliates that I'm part of and so forth and so on. And I can keep track of everything that's going on with affiliates. Now, if you don't have any affiliates sections complete, none of this will work. But again, this is the new homepage feel. And right here on the right-hand side, I can immediately go to the groups or join groups to go in. Like, so for instance, I'm in here, but I'm not part of a group. So I can come in here and join this group. And now I'm inside the group. Pretty freaking cool, right? If I come in here, notice I still, because I am not the admin, I can't do anything in here. All right, there was a little bit of a problem I had actually, and I had to pause the video because what was happening is I wasn't seeing the admin functions. And I realized this because I was logged in as user address versus my admin address, and it didn't recognize me as an admin. So it didn't give me the admin functions, which are really important because that's how you're going to add the channels and keep maximizing this area. So I finally went back out. I logged out and I logged in using the admin, meaning the account that I used to create inside of there. Now, all of a sudden, I had the admin functions. So when you come back in here, you'll notice you have admin functions because you'll have a cogwheel on your right and you'll have the ability of adding a channel. So for instance, you would add home, you would add course discussion, and you put a little icon if you want. All right. Then you would have add another section, maybe is new member welcome. All right. And then same thing. You again, just would put it in a pretty nice description up to a certain amount of characters, obviously. All right. And then you can create as many channels as you want. When you come in here, you want to post to be like, welcome everyone. And what's really cool is you can add a video. So if I wanted to upload a video and I have here, oh, shorter than 1 gig, which is good to know. I didn't know that. So for instance, if I have a little bit of a shorter video that I would have something in here, I would just have it. Yeah. Like I think this one is like 1 meg. Beautiful. I can upload the video here. I can also add a YouTube link. So if I wanted to add a YouTube link, I can add a YouTube link. I can write this like, check out this video, you know, something like that. And again, 1 gigabyte in here, but your course area can hold up to 4. You can also do add a links, again, like I mentioned before, attachments or whatever else, and you can publish post. And then if I wanted to publish somewhere else, it could do that. Now I can come in here, I can like the post, I can come in here, I can tag somebody. So if there's other members, notice it has 2. One was the, like I mentioned before, the user, that was my mistake. And now this, so all of a sudden I can come in here, tag the individual that I want to tag and be like, check this out. And they'll get notified. They'll get like an email notification that somebody tagged them, which is an automated thing inside of here, which again, we didn't have a little while ago. Check this out. Okay. And then you can comment. So that person will see the comment. And then if you come back out, there you go. You got a comment, the last person that made a comment and so forth. And then as more and more people comment, you'll see little things kind of show up here. I thought that was pretty cool. You can also come in here, and if you're the admin, you can pin the post, and now you can have featured posts right in here. And again, this is an area that is like truly developing. Then what you could do is you can go on the right-hand side, and there is a whole bunch of things on here. Now you can go ahead and make this thing private. Only members of the group post, and other members of the group can see the actual things. You can go ahead and hit private. Your group will be visible to non-group members in the switcher. Meaning, yeah, that's fine, but they can't join unless I grant them access, and I'm going to show you how to do that in an automation. So for instance, if I turn this to a private group, I hit save. Now this group is private. Subscriptions, this is a managed or paid group. I can come in here and I could say this is $20 reoccurring with a 60-day free trial. I don't know if I can do 60, might not. Okay, cool. Let me see, edit. Oh, it did. It took. Cool. Branding, again, go here deeper on the branding if I don't like the way it's going in there. Promotional links that I want to show up in the side. So for instance, if we wanted to do our YouTube channel, and then we come back over here. Oop, where do we go? I can put a link description. Here's the URL and say YouTube channel. Watch what happens where it comes up. It's pretty cool, actually. All right. I can add future descriptions. And if there's like an FAQ that members can go ahead, I can ask the question, where do I find the courses? All right. Something like that. And then I can come in here, membership questions, hit save, boom. And let's see how this all looks, right? So I'm going to go ahead and up out of there. Look at that. There's the links. All right. And I believe the questions are going to be posted. Don't know exactly where the questions show up, but regardless of which, you can add whatever channels. You got it right here. You can do a little bit, whatever you want to do. You can pin posts. Pretty darn cool, right? Now the learning is pretty cool. This is going to be the learning that is available for everybody. So if you come over here and you add a course, you could select the course like Nuno's awesome course. And then you can either put that this is a free course, meaning that everybody has access to it, or you can come in here. Oh, let's go back. I'm sorry. Add a course. And again, you can only do this if you're in as the admin. You can come in here and let's say it's the Facebook membership ads course. And let's just make sure this is a one-time and I can enter the price of $147. Boom, come in here, add the course. Now, if they want it, they can come in here and do all that. And by the way, you can edit. But this will only pull in an image if the image is already made on there. Now, because we had no images, that's what shows up there, but that's the way you would want it. The other thing is if they actually have paid courses, the person would go in here and they would hit courses. All right. And that's where they would find their actual courses. Now, mind you, the reason ours had these weird, like kind of logos to it was because I didn't have any images on there. But if they did have images, it would automatically show. Now, let me go back over to communities. Again, now we're back into this section. And if you have other communities, they'll have access to it. They can come in here and they can select whatever communities they want to go into, which is pretty cool. So it just gives you a really robust way to look at it. Now, the other thing is we have people in here. You can go ahead and assign people different levels. So people can be a contributor. You can change a role to admin. You can remove them from the group. And there's also ways to do that inside of your automations. And I'm going to show you how to do that and some ideas that we have. You can see all your contributors. You can see any of the moderators and you can see admins. Now the moderators is something that's coming soon, but again, they are actively investing in this. So I can assure you that this is happening pretty quickly. So if you haven't checked this part of HighLevel out, it's definitely something you want to be playing with. All right. So again, that kind of covers everything inside of here. And again, in here is where you go to the different areas. And if you hit the home screen, this is what people will normally log into. And you just kind of advise them where they're going to be. Again, what's going on in their profile, how many groups they joined, what their course completion is, the total affiliate earnings. So it becomes like a portal for them to go in and see what their overall activity is and how they're doing, which I thought was pretty freaking cool, right? So now let's kind of go into some of the automations that I've kind of developed over this that make it super easy. So let's say you wanted to join a course or you joined a course and you want to give the community as part of the offering, or somebody's downloading a lead magnet and you want to offer the community as kind of an additional thing. So let's go to our lead magnet kind of flow. If you don't know how to do any of these, that's okay, because we have the tons of tutorials inside the channel that will kind of guide you through all of these. And even our free course, it shows you how to do the lead magnet one, which is fairly easy. But for instance, somebody fills out a form and they come from a Facebook lead form. And basically right here, all you have to do is if I wanted to now give them access to the community, I would come over here, hit the little plus sign. And what I'll do is I would do, actually, if you just want to scroll down, it's all the way at the bottom. There's just those two for now. There's one that's for communities. It's grant group access and revoke group access. So I'm going to grant the group access. And I have my VIP group. I'm going to hit save. So all I would have to do is come in here and like during my first SMS or my first email, I would just say, hey, congratulations. You've also earned access to our community. Here's how you get it. Now you would come in here and remember, you would want to make them go into what you created, this thing right here, and it's going to bring them to the login screen. So for instance, this first SMS, create a password and log in. Create a password and log in. All right. And then there's the access to the community. And because they already have group access that we granted, they'll be able to go in and access the community that you gave to them, right? So that's that simple. And that's it. If you grant them access to the course, inside there too, you would just do the same thing, except this one is going to be course access, which is all the way down at the bottom too. Course grant offer. You would come in here and you would do Nuno's awesome course. Boom, hit save action. Now, not only would they have community access, they would also have membership access, and they can access those courses or in the learning area right there and there. So it just gives you a lot of different ways to access that particular area. Now, let's say that after 30 days, like after, like 5 or 6 days, maybe it's a trial membership to the community. You can come in here and hit revoke. And not only can you revoke the course, but you can also revoke the group access. and now they no longer have access. So it gives you that ability too. So a lot of really cool things you can do with community, but that's just a difference. You want to make sure you include the link for them to go to, because again, the automated email sometimes goes out, but there's sometimes it can go to spam or just might not work right. So I included in a text, and I also included in the instructions that if you haven't received log information to get to the group, make sure you do that now. And then same thing for the course. You can do the automated one that they already have with the system, but I always remind them that you should be getting it. And if you don't get it, just reach back out to us. But if you go in there, that gets them both the access to the membership area and to the group community, like I mentioned before, and that's as many groups as you want. So for instance, if you had multiple groups, it'd be grant access for one group, grant access for the next group, and so forth and so on, but it makes it real easy. Now, you have your sites, you have everything else, you have your client portal, you have your settings, you have your domain set up. Remember, all we did was add one record, which it's either or. It's just so you're either adding a C name or you're adding an A record, and then you just hit submit. And if it's there, you're good to go. Branding is where you're going to control all your colors and everything else to the general page that they log in, along with the first initial area that they land into. Then you have your app permissions. Again, old school, you just want courses. Just make sure you select in this, and then you select the area that you want them to go first. If you want them to have the home experience, you can. But in my experience, honestly, it's actually better that you send them to courses or communities first. It just gives them a much better picture of where they're going to. And it's one to all, right? So if you have an affiliate area and not a course area, you have to pick one that serves all of them. So you can turn them all on, have them go to the homepage in the community side, and then all of a sudden they can just select where they want to go afterwards. And then inside the actual membership area, this is where you're going to create your groups. And then just make sure when you're logging in, your login in has the login that you use go into your account, because that is the administrator account. That's going to give you the options like I mentioned before. See, this is the non-administrator account. There is no basically areas where you can go in and customize, while the other ones have it. So just make sure you're logging in. Again, that was a lesson we learned, because we were like, wait a second, where's everything? But that's what you want to make sure you do. And if you have any questions on creating courses and how to go through that whole entire step, we have a whole video and a whole lesson that we've outlined for that. It's a 45-minute video. It goes into mass details of everything you need to go inside of courses. So this is basically like a companion course. So go ahead and watch that video first if you kind of want to create a course. And here should be strictly about setting up your community, setting up this particular area, and just having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully you had a lot of fun building this out with us, and we'll see you in the next one.